Hello and welcome back to FVC Season 6, Round 9 at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Session for today's race, as well as qualifying, is going to be dry all the entire way through. Drivers will not be facing any difficulties along the 5.8 kilometer circuit. 11 turns, 7 to the right and 4 to the left. 472 meter run from pole to turn 1. And you're on throttle for over 75% of your lap. Mercedes, the first cars to make their way onto the track, with Eldorado 2009, the first driver of the 14 with us today. Haas and McLaren also looking to get out eagerly, as they are the next couple of cars, apart from the Mercedes, to head onto the track. Only around 2 corners and already a little bit in the grass for Dorado. That right side grass, if you extend your run out of turn 1 too much, could cause you to spin if you hit it wrong. Already a couple of yellow flags at the first corner for what I presume is a Ferrari having a bit of a problem coming through the chicane. That's going to be Scarly 42, possibly coming together with the Red Bull. Two DRS zones at the Italian circuit of Monza. The Temple of Speed, a very well-deserved title. One, the first of them between the final corner and the first corner, the longest one on the circuit, but another between the second last one of turn 7, as well as the start of the Ascari chicane at turn 8. Jump on board with Dorado, watching along as he completes the first laps. A long run and braking hard at the 50-meter board for the parabolica. Bringing it out wide to the left-hand side, getting bracketing somewhat over the right-hand side. The finish line, as well as where the timing beam starts, is very far back, very close to the corner, so you're not going to get much of a DRS distance for your lap time. Hard again braking into the first chicane. There is a Red Bull ahead that could cause a bit of problems, especially around Curva Grande. All the setups will already be low down for us, and losing even more of that from dirty air will only be detrimental the entire way through the circuit. Don't want to be too aggressive to the inside curbs of turn 4 and 5. They will throw your car very violently if you hit them correctly. That would be getting out of the way for the less moves. Nicely around turn 7. Actually on the brakes, turned in, yellow flag once again for one of the Ferraris getting caught up at the second chicane. Red Bull's getting in position to give each other a slipstream. Apex and Houseman have been working together quite a lot of this season, especially as teammates. Coming up across the line, it's a 121.582. The pole bar is set. D75 immediately comes to take it with a 120.0, and Bly 119.9 moves into provisional pole position. Alexi into third place provisionally with a 120.321. The Red Bulls coming up next to start a lap and abort one, as into pit lane goes Apex. Medium compounds for Houseman likely to be going again later on in the session. 119.918, new fastest lap of the session for Curly. Ben, of course, will be encroaching on this traffic up ahead, but has set a purple first sector. The insides of turn 6 and 7 nicely down to the second DRS zone of the circuit, veering wide open speeds. Getting right to the top of 8th gear, braking at the 100-meter board. Purple middle sector for the Ripple driver, optimizing however with how quick he has proven to be. Nice to the inside. Doesn't have any drama coming through the final corner. Try to get a bit of a switch from car to the pit lane. It's 1:19.699 for Houseman in the Red Bull. Yellow flags coming up the final corner for an AlphaTauri getting passed by what I'm presuming is one of the Williams. The Alpines trip over each other into pit lane. Ferrari's coming up Harrison then first with the 1:23.03. Scarlett 42 will be next up on an invalid lap. Will have to go again. No dramas on the second attempt for Scarlett. Battery charge is low. Especially on a track like this, it will be very detrimental in the long run if you don't get a full battery charge in your lap. It's a purple second sector though for the Ferrari driver, even despite the low charge on the battery. Bit of a slide coming through the Ascari chicane though. That will be losing her time all the way down through the entirety of Sector 3. .119.516 from Broughton, the new provisional pole position. The second Ferrari is off the track. Letting his teammate move on through, coming up across the line. Only 10th place. 1:21.764. Only enough to put one car behind her of OJ in the Alpine for it. He set a 1:22.166. Long way to go for him. We'll jump on board with Apex for the rest of his lap. Just up ahead, the stand-in driver for Aston Martin this week. Neither the regular Aston Martin driver is present. Purple middle sector for Apex. Longer on top here, not getting quite the same high rev as his teammate. Could be very good. Moves up to the right hand side very early, going up to the line. 6th place, a 1:20.176. Next up, Starlight will be Joseph Palmes. Standing in for Aston Martin, neither Alfa Romeos here, probably either Mulder or himself. Breaking around 100 meters into turn 1, gets in nicely for the first section. A little bit wide, possibly on the exit of turn 2, possibly a bit late getting the power down as a result. Giving it very tightly to the inside of turn 3, Curva Grande. Possibly running on the grass a little bit through there. No dramas through turn 4, but running wide against turn 5. Dipping the left side of the wheels. The left side of the car even into the grass. It's yellow flags, Ascari for a Red Bull. A little bit off the inside through turn 7 now. Second era Sohn wing it wide open, keeps it to the left for the slight king. Braking once again, 100 meter ward. Purple middle sector for the Aston Martin. For whatever reason, validated it on the inside of Ascari. Will immediately slow down, letting the McLaren of Alexi pass. Houseman is back out on track on the soft compound tyres, looking to retake pole position. Just under 2/10 for him to gain. Easily will be able to find that with the better compound of tyres, setting his 1:19.699 on the mediums. The 765 moves into second place provisionally with a 1:19.586. Final corner at the very earlier 1:19.918 to beat. Heading into pit lane, will not continue that lap. Starting a lap is going to be Hassan M. 1:20.303 for him to beat. Would definitely be able to try. Just behind is going to be the Red Bull of Houseman, coming to start the lap. Validated lap for the McLaren of Alexi will not be able to go any quicker on this attempt. Williams of Broughton is also going to be going for another attempt. Jump up to Hollis, who is going to be completing another lap towards the famous battery low. Again, rounding the final corner, those soft comfort are going to be up to the exact spec that they were. Over the line, 119.3 for 8 for the Aston Martin driver. However, out on track and looking to respond is going to be Houseman. Purple middle sector for the driver coming through Ascari. Keeps it steady, doesn't run wide, he's gotten further than Hollis' first attempt. Brakes late, potentially a little bit wide for the final corner. No dramas on the exit, letting the steering out, letting the car straighten out on its own. Moving over to the line of 119.318, only 30 milliseconds separating the top two. The Aston Martin of Joseph stop on track to let a number of cars through. You won't be able to do that for too long, otherwise he'll be risking disqualification. The Alpines going at each other on a lap, looking to get a slipstream off of each other. OJ, the car in place, going to be having a slipstream all the way through Ascari, getting very high in the river and probably even maxing out the engine. You've got to be careful though, you're going to be losing all that grip through the chicane. Very evident there. Careful of traffic the entire way through the lap. Off the track for Simon just ahead, who's diving into pit lane, and is OJ. Both of them to pit lane. Grado starting another lap. As likely is the Ferrari of Scarlett. Not having a very good session of her own now. 121.764. Very far down the order, especially at this stage, just still going slow, and only 5 minutes remaining in this session. Red Bull and McLaren of Apex and Alexi are going to be right near each other as well, starting a lap. Alexi letting off just a little bit, trying to get more of a gap. As much as you want a slipstream down the straight, you still need the downforce for the braking zone and still need it for some of the corners here. They are very high speed corners, and if you lose even the slightest bit of downforce, you'll be hemorrhaging time. Very harsh on the downshifts into the second chicane for Alexi. Also trying to position the car just where she's getting the edges of a slipstream from the Red Bull ahead, while trying to avoid losing as much downforce as possible for the corners. It's not going to do much favour though. Big slide through the Ascari chicane. Gonna have to keep going if she wants to try and move up anywhere on the grid. Not long remaining. And invalid at the final corner. Thinks about diving to pit lane, not going to be close enough. Has to go the entire way round. Apex moves to 5th with a 119.787. immediately cuts over turn 1. Grotto invalid once again. And not even attempting to make the corner goes the Williams of Fiddle. Going out of pits. Provisionally second place for him. He's going to be looking to try and take pole position. Red Bull of Houseman also moving, looking to defend it if necessary. Alpine's out again. Simon's still yet to set a lap. We're down in 14th. OJ in 13th still going to set a quick lap. Alright. After them in the Ferrari 123.03 to beat round in the final corner. Likely to be his last run. He's not got enough battery charge to go again. Moves to 4th place at 119.533. Purple final sector. The Alpines are going to start their laps in a second. Final in the Williams run in the final corner. The yellow flags between Joseph and Ben. Neither of them wants to be the leading car out of the two. 121 to beat. He beats it. Goes into a 120.666. Doesn't move up any positions though. Broughton will be starting a lap, well as the next two cars will also be starting their flying laps, as will the Haas of Blah and the AlphaTauri of Curly. The next car that's going to be finishing a lap, the looks of things, is going to be the Mercedes of P765. Then managing to stay behind at the top two runners will be gaining the slipstream more than likely in some effect. All the way down the straights, possibly a bit of a slipstream off the Ferrari in front for D75, just to avoid running wide, does so, keeps it clean through the final corner, 119.586 to beat, does set a purple final sector but doesn't beat it, somehow stays in 5th place. Alpine's going to be up next, Salmon will be crossing the line in the first position out of these two cars, has to round the final corner so to make it happen. Does so, as is OJ, but OJ has to back off completely. Up to 6th place for Salmon at 119.785. Ferrari of Scarlett will be coming around soon, but not going to be doing much yet. That was the Ferrari of House Noah's first up. Broughton stays in 3rd place, 119.516. Fiddle and stays down in 12th place. Up next is going to be the Aston Martin for Joseph. Up goes provisional pole position. It's an 18.9. How can Ben respond? He's going up next. Coming across the line. He doesn't respond. He doesn't go quicker. 119.967 to beat for Bly. He does beat it. Goes into 8th place. For Curly goes up to 6th, and Scarlett moves into 3rd, stealing it by 10 milliseconds. And that, as quickly as it started, is all over for qualifying. 1:18.908 for Aston Martin is a pole position at the Italian Grand Prix. Houseman will be second, a 1:19.318 after a mistake at Ascari. And Scarly 42 for one quick flying up the session, a 1:19.506 usurps the inside, if I'm not mistaken, of the second row from Broughton by 10 milliseconds. 5th place for Harrison M, and 6th for D765. 7th place goes to Curly, 8th to Simon Baker, 9th for Apex, and 10th goes to Blah. 11th for F Alexi, 12th goes to Eldorado, 13th for Finnell, and 14th for OJ. Pole position goes the way of Aston Martin at the Italian Grand Prix. Joseph aiming victory over the Red Bull of Houseman, who was 4/10 back after a mistake at Ascari. Scarlett 42, her one fast flying lap of the session, puts her in 3rd place, only 10 milliseconds ahead of Broughton in 4th. 5th place goes in favour of Harrison M, 6th to D765, 7th to Curly, 8th place to Soundbaker, 9th to Apex, and 10th for Blah. 11th place goes to Alexi, 12th for Eldorado, 13th for Finnell, and 14th for OJ. Hello and welcome back to Season 6 of the FVC. Round 9 at the Italian Prix at the circuit of Monza. Very, very hectic qualifying. It is Aston Martin taking pole position with Joseph Perez, followed by Houseman 2 in the Red Bull. Scarlett 42 takes 3rd place at the Ferrari team's home race. 4th place goes to Broughton, and 5th for Harrison M. 6th place is D765. 7th goes to the AlphaTauri of Curly. 8th for Simon Baker, 9th for Apex, and the final points paying position of 10th is Blythe 169. Alexi will be starting in 11th place, Dorado in 12th, Alex Finnell in 13th, and O'Shea English all the way down in 14th, who could have likely set a better lap, but actually applied a lot of braking near the end of his final flying lap. We continue round and wait for the final number of meters to go. Take a look at the previous pole positions, which I can't actually see without moving OBS. D765 starting 6th place did take the last pole position here, and all the way back in season 4 it was Jim Bobster 8 who is not going to be in the race today. Apex in the 2021 Summer Series took pole position. He's going to be starting in 9th, and D123210 all the way back in season 3. First ever public FVC Monza race took pole position there. Cars are getting aligned once again on the grid. It's going to be a very interesting race between these two. Houseman disqualified, not a very good start. Things going from bad to worse. Hoping we get a bit of a better camera angle than these for the start. We can't see the lights in any capacity. There is Finnell in the background spinning the car, and the tyres just heated up. Not going to be able to get any better camera angle from the looks of things. Lights out, away we go. We weren't able to see it. It was presumably a very short hole. Looks to be a much better launch for Joseph Perez. Not surprising there. Is on the soft combat tires in comparison to Houseman on the hards. Already a car on the grass. That's a Mercedes. Already a Williams having a very little look down the outside, and bed speed spun. Hit from a Williams, sent him immediately down to last. Curly will take 2nd place. No, it's going to be Scott. It's going to be D7. No, it's back to Scarlett. Ferrari's getting a bit of a better launch. the tires. D7 moving up. Dorado, presumably the car on the grass. Curly's now sent all the way to the back. There was a car running off the circuit into the first corner. Ferrari of Harrison M now has been spun, falling all the way to the back. I've forgotten all my keybinds for everything race-wise. Lexi coming up to 4th place, down to 5th, getting passed by the Red Bull of Apex. Salmon also moving up to 6th. The Williams duo getting a mixed start, 7th and 8th for them. Now 7th and 9th. Move over to the replay, and it didn't actually capture what happened there at the start of the race. Was hoping that would have caught the start of the race. 1:25.702 for Joseph setting the pace. The first fastest lap. Already a car into pit lane of Houseman and Broughton for damage. And a tyre change as is Harrison. That's 3 cars already in lap 1. Here comes Simon on the inside, having looked down the first corner. Somehow makes it work from the outside at turn 2. Yellow flags for Finnell's been spun round, and there's a BSC deployed. A good start for some and a very poor start for others. Some names already moving through the grid in places they would not want to be. The most notable of 2 being Broughton House from down to 12th and 13th. The biggest winner of them all so far, though, looking from positions gained, is between Salmon and Alexi, 5th and 6th. For those 2, VSE going to be ending very shortly. And someone that might benefit, if it goes green in the right place, could be someone in this train. 4 cars very close to each other, especially if Blah can get it right. We'd be looking at a couple of overtakes into the final corner. Already trying to set it up. Doesn't go green at the right time for him, though. As it doesn't actually go green at all until they're rounding the final corner. DRS does get enabled as Hannes crosses over the line. Someone that could have been gaining an advantage, it turns getting a disadvantage, losing a place. OJ charging down the straight, moving to the left-hand side, easily getting past before the chicane. Binnell also going to dive to pit lane. Mercedes of Dorado hiding down the inside of Alexi into the second chicane. Alexi's going to hold it around the outside and going to stay there. Somehow it's a little bit loose, does swerve just in front a little bit of the Mercedes. Will keep the position though. OJ moving to a position, trying to get down the inside of Dorado. Dorado might be off the track. He is. He spun around and nearly collects Curly in the AlphaTauri. Somehow Curly avoids getting collected by the Mercedes. Off the track there for Alexi, coming out the Ascari chicane. Don't want to do that too many times, otherwise you will be accumulating warnings and eventually penalties. Joseph is running way up at the front, a 1:21.724. Not a surprise, considering how uncontested he is. There's also a number of cars getting very close to each other up at the front of the field. The battle for second place could start coming into effect very soon, as D7 is slowly catching up to Scarlet. OJ gets past Alexi for 6th place. Both the Alpines now moving up the grid very well. Alexi getting back past into 6th place. Will jump down and follow along with this just a little bit longer while the gaps close up near the front of the field. Lar could be getting a good run, moving down the inside in the first last move against OJ. The Alpine starting to fall back ever so slightly. D7 moving Scarlet into the braking zone of Ascari. Ferrari will have the straight line advantage for the next two corners, and we'll get a slipstream for the first bit, and we'll have the DRS assistance all the way to turn 1. And how well you can keep it together through Parabolica, and she does so very cleanly. Immediately already gaining for the DRS, even though moving to the left hand side. Zai moved to the wrong car. Very easy pass with the DRS assistance for the Ferrari. However, does have the worst tyres for the stage. Missed at the apex just a little bit on the first corner. D7 hopping over the curves, possibly a bit more than you'd be wanting to. You don't want to do that either. You could have the risk of damaging the floor of the car as well. We'll get the DRS assistance down all the way to Ascari, that he's very far back. He's not going to be as close as he was last lap, and he's not going to be able to make as easy a move. However, we'll get the slipstream all the way to Parabolica. Taking a look from the rear wing of the Ferrari, the Mercedes getting ever so closer. We'll be able to gain through Parabolica as well, and we'll get the DRS assistance on this lap once again. DRS, the wing opens, that Mercedes getting very close on the overtake, moving to the right hand side. It's again a very simple pass. Pulls right in front of the Ferrari. It's a risky move that you don't want to do. You can take the aero load off the wings of the car that you do that to. See Alexa making a move in the background for 7th against OJ. Somehow Scott's going to try and go around the outside. They come together. That's a big crash. And off goes the Mercedes. Somehow neither of them go out, but Finnell in the Williams does TNF at the same time. That will bring out the safety car. That Ferrari looks somehow undamaged. A lucky outcome, perhaps, for Scarlet, and a very unlucky one for D7. But a safety car this early in can completely change the entire strategy of the race. Joseph on the soft compound tyres up at the front will be very happy with the timing of this, because he's been able to run away unobstructed and get off of those soft compound tyres. But anyone on the hards will be more compromised by this, because they were hoping for no safety car or a later one. Into pit lane for the Aston Martin driver, Scotty 42 coming around, dives in to pit lane. Also coming in is going to be Apex. Salmon stays. Nope, goes in. The only one staying out is Blah. Every other car looks to be coming in. Indeed, every single other car did. Harrison and Lee first got into pit lane just for the safety car came out. The only car to stay is the Haas of Blah. Six-lap-old mediums for the race leader and fresh tyres for everybody else. Hard compounds for Joseph, mediums for Scarlet and Apex, hards for Simon, and mediums for Alexi is your top 6. And a difference comes in 7th place with OJ going on the soft compound tyres. Curly, D7 and Dorado all choosing the hards, and mediums for Broughton, Houseman and Harrison M. Very varied strategies even at this stage of the race. And somehow, for all the drivers, no penalties yet. While we're in this short downtime, we'll take a look at the previous winners at this circuit. Season 5 was won by D765, who's currently down in 9th place. After that collision between himself and Scarly42, that was not the cause, however, of the safety car. My apologies for the numerous pauses. I am still not in the grid conditions. Why commentary is just a bit shaky as well. Apex, currently running in 4th place, did win in Season 4. And then neither of the 2021 Summer Series or the Season 3 winners are on the grid as of current. Also, while we're in this downtime, we do have a Formula Companion results app. All the previous results are on the app, be it between FVC, the Summer Series, what is now known as FVGP, our Forza side. All the results of our previous races are available on the app, and you can also do Driver of the Day voting. Code is on screen, and the app is available on all app stores, whether you're on iOS, Android, or any other platform. Safety car is coming in this lap. Control of the field does go to Haas. Jumping board with the Aston Martin of Joseph Haas, seeing where the Haas gets going. A little bit on the grass. Not the greatest place to boot it if that's where he goes, and from the looks of it, it wasn't. Apex getting a very good run, however, possibly just a bit too early, having to give the position back to the Ferrari. Joseph already in the lead against the Haas. Haas will control the inside line, but comes over on the Ferrari of Scarlett. Somehow, none of the cars going together at turn 1. Scarlett moving to the outside of the Haas, hoping that the same incident doesn't happen as of a few laps ago, and it doesn't. We'll be having a dive down the inside against into the second chicane. Apex also potentially having a look behind. Doesn't seem to be close enough to make anything happen. Might try and get a better run into the last rows. Gonna have to just back out of it just a little bit. Then Houseman is round again. The second chicane. Started in second place, now running in last. All the cars still going. Here comes Apex, a very harsh dive to the hand side, left side of the circuit. Having looked to the inside of Scary, doesn't make a move, not going to be close enough on this lap. Joseph already 1.5 seconds ahead. Going together is D7 and Curly. Was very, very close to an accident, and a bit more contact there, and that Mercedes would have been round straight into the wall. No DRS for 2 laps after a safety car restart. Comes the Williams of Broughton, doing a much better run out of the final corner than the AlphaTauri. You're going to be having a look down the inside into the first chicane. They're coming together once again, and that's contact, and that's into the wall hard. More contact as well as Curly goes into the Williams. Alexi, a 5-second penalty, unfortunately, for colliding with Broughton, an innocent bystander from the looks of things in that accident. Very unlucky for her. Up at the front, things have stayed the same. There's another safety car out, and that's another broken wing for the Mercedes of T7. However, it does bring a second chance for Houseman. Safety car likely to be out for a couple of laps. Could be another strategy change over once again for a lot of drivers. So we'll take a look at the action once again. Broughton with a much better run than both the other cars coming off the final corner. D7 just comes over a little bit, hits twice and swerves into the right side wall. Broughton then gets hit by the AlphaTauri, and I think Alexi just clips the Williams. Pit lane for the Haas of Blah, unsurprisingly, taking advantage of the second safety car. Also into pit lane is D7, that will allow Houghton to get back into 11th place. At this stage of the race, especially with the second safety car just extending out the life of some of the tyres, the medium runners could come into advantage just a bit against those who chose for the hards. Be staying under safety car for one more lap, while the Mercedes of D7 has yet to catch up. I do have a couple of stability errors on my side, so please let me know if anything is going wrong to anybody that is watching live. Safety car could or should be coming in at the end of this lap. Green flag racing resumes on lap 13. As a retirement for the Red Bull of Houseman. The safety car is coming in, but we're going to be losing a very quick contender who got very unlucky. Control of the field now goes in favour of the Aston Martin. Cars still are very close to each other. You are allowed to go side by side with another car, and Joseph boots it just before the final corner. Very aggressive on the throttle for Apex. I think both the two cars he was trying to catch out didn't get caught in the way that he was hoping. They're already going to be gaining on him all the way down the straight. He's hoping they're going to start fighting each other. Indeed, that might happen, but no, Apex does let off. He's not going to start fighting. The position Broughton moving to the inside of Salmon for D4. from the looks of things, just behind Alexei, fighting against another car for 6th place. Still carrying the 5-second penalty. Keep an eye on the positions back here, but the main story currently developed so far is going to be the battle for the lead against Joseph and Scarlett. The other contender in this fight also could be the Red Bull of Apex. Even Broughton and Williams behind could catch a bit, and the pass of Blah coming to problems around the 1st and 2nd. Lesmo down in 12th place. Those gaps are expanding up the front. We'll move back down now to where they come close together and even closing together. Oche trying to get the slipstream off the Ferrari in front, trying to catch up in any way he can. Soft compound tires will do him a world of favours at the start of this stint, but they will start to fall off near the end. He's going to be very close. No slipstream, or no DRS, sorry, for a couple of laps. He will be moving to the left-hand side, trying to make a dive on the outside. Not going to be able to make it happen against the Ferrari, just not close enough. Doesn't have the acceleration out of the chicane to close up any more than he did. Scarlett falling outside of a second of the leader. P7 getting close to the back of this group. He's going to have to be wary if he doesn't want to lose another front wing. Going into the back of OJ. As a look to the left-hand side, heading towards the Scar. He's going to hold the inside line. He's probably going to hold the inside against 2 of them. He has a look, doesn't go for it, moves ahead of the Alpine, doesn't get ahead of the Ferrari, but he will be on the hunt all the way down the 2nd straight, and here he comes. Him not getting the launch he will have wanted. D7 will have the outside line, though. However, Simpson just lets off, letting the Mercedes past. DRS enabled on this lap. Bit of snap of oversteer. Alexei's around the McLaren in front. Sideways. OJ's going to be coming once again into the chicane. Didn't get as much of a run as he wanted. He was already out of battery pretty much. Moving back up the field though. Apex getting up into 2nd against the Ferrari of Scarlett. Scarlett's not going to let that one go easily, however. There's a momentary truce to try and battle for the lead, however that seems to have expired. Aggressive on the inside, another yellow flag. That's going to be the Ferrari of Harrison M's going to be spun round. Apex did have the better run at the 1st sector of the circuit. Scarlett slowly catching the Red Bull. Both cars very quick in the straight line. I think the Red Bull just ever so slightly faster. However, Ferrari will have the DRS advantage going down into turn 1. Broughton is also caught back to within a second of the Ferrari. Here comes Scarlett already on the overtake. A much better state of battery. Apex has nothing in response to the Ferrari down the straight. However, misses the braking, runs to the back of the Ferrari. Keeps the front wing. Unsettled himself a little bit, does block Broughton, and already outside of a second. Broughton moves up to 3rd place as well. He's pretty much letting him pass, and once again, also around is going to be Harrison M at turn 1. once again, the second last one, and that's going to be a full safety car deployed for the Ferrari of Harrison M. A broken front wing. Bring out the third full safety car of the race, and all the cars up at the front diving into pit lane. But staying out, daring to go differently, is going to be D7, who will inherit the lead of the race. But be careful to not spin the car, especially when you are leading up completely unpressured. So once again, 6-lap-old medium tyres for the leader of the race and fresh tyres for pretty much everyone else. Fresh mediums for Joseph and Scarlett. Fresh softs for Broughton, and then mediums from 5th all the way down to 9th. For slightly worn mediums for Blah, and then fresh softs in 11th and worn softs in 12th. Some hoping to make the end on the tyres they already were on, others taking the advantage while they have it. Second penalty for Alexei. Multiple warnings, likely the track limits at the edge of Ascari. Should be green at the end of this lap. Safety car coming in this lap. Mercedes of D7 will take control now. Worn mediums for the leader and fresh tyres all the way down from 2nd to 9th. With one of those cars being on brand new soft compound tyres. Not a very big gap for D7. Gonna leave it very late. He just goes just as the ticker goes into pit lane, into report. Joseph just a little bit out. Scarlett having a look down the inside into the first corner, thinks against it. Broughton getting very close, possibly even pushing her into the first corner. And back up to the front, Joseph getting a better run out of the second chicane. Dorado disconnecting the session. Very far to the inside for the Aston Martin there. 2 tenths of a second now separate them, and it's fallen down even less, so only 1.5. Taking a look from the rear of the Mercedes, the Aston Martin gets a much better launch out of the second Lesmo. D7 holding the inside, Joseph having to level up just a little bit as the Mercedes moves into the middle of the track. Keeps it steady through the entirety of Ascari. Joseph having to let off once again. There comes Broughton in the background getting past Scarlett. They're going to have to pick up the pace here at the front. Broughton will be flying on those soft comfort tires at this stage. Joseph getting a better line though. He's going to have the run all the way now towards turn 1, and he's going to have the inside line. Broughton's also going to be there though. He's going to put himself right behind the Mercedes. Joseph's going to be on the inside. They're going to be side by side moving into turn 1. D7 can't hold it on the outside. Joseph moves into the lead, but Broughton is also going to be there. He's going to have a much better advantage for the next couple of laps. If he can get ahead and defend for the rest of the race, he'll be in a very good position for a lot of points. D7 moving to 4th place as Scarlett gets up to 3rd. Broughton having a look down the inside of the first Lesmo, not close enough to make anything happen. Run just a bit wide onto the AstroTurf, unsettling the car a little bit. Joseph might be feeling the pressure and missed the apex of the corner ever so slightly. Broughton getting a much better run, already up to overtake. A lot of overtake being used, and flies to the right hand side of the track. Easily getting past before Ascari. He can stay there without a penalty and make that car as wide as he possibly can. He has a shot of winning this race. Caution in sector 3 for the McLaren of Alexei around. Race will continue on, no dramas back there. DRS does get enabled on this lap. Broughton leads. They won't get it for this turn. They're going to have to wait until the second Lesmo before they can get any use of DRS. Just trying to have a look at taking a wider line, cutting it in. Retirement for the McLaren of Alexei down the start-finish straight. Hopefully that won't bring anything out, as that car should be able to be cleared away pretty quickly. Very aggressive on the throttle for Joseph, not able to make anything for it happen. DRS enabled now for Joseph. That Aston Martin getting ever closer, just in the background. Not going to be able to get close enough though. The Williams having a second burst of speed down the straight, able to stay ahead of the Aston Martin. But will it be able to do it for a second time? The answer is not going to be, or it is going to be yes even. Just seemingly letting off just a little bit. Scarlett's going to be right there though. Gonna have to be careful with letting off too much. Well, having a look at the inside against the Aston Martin, not going to be close enough to make anything work into turn 1 on this lap. Broughton still holding the lead. Those tyres will start to hurt. If not on this lap, in only a couple more. It's open for a second time. The Aston Martin not able to get any closer. Broughton will be running out of battery at the rate that he's using it, especially if he's using it so much to just stay ahead of the DRS assistance of the cars chasing him. Rather 3 seconds for multiple warnings. See Joseph with nearly a full battery and the Williams in the opposite end nearly empty. Here comes the Aston Martin moving down the inside very simply flying ahead and retaking the lead of the race. Broughton getting a better run out of the chicane for initial grip. The Aston Martin able to get ahead though. On acceleration, Broughton's going to have to be crazy and make a huge move if he wants to try and take it back. He is gaining though all the way to the chicane, and he's going to just stay behind this time round. Tyre's probably failing him at this stage. He was able to hold the lead of the race, but he's not going to be able to keep it for much longer. The Aston Martin is flying ahead into the distance, already 0.6 of a gap. Retirement for Harrison M for Ferrari. Apex, a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. It's not going to bring anything out. The race is going to stay green. It's going to be miraculous for some and detrimental towards others. Broughton will just be close enough to get the edges of the DRS against the Aston Martin all the way down the straight, but he's got no battery to back it up. He's not going to be able to close anywhere near enough. He wants to retake the lead. Scarlett will be trying to make a look for any move that she can find getting up into second place. She still has a shot at this race if Joseph makes any form of mistakes. However, she first needs to get past the Williams. And you're not going to do any favours to yourself if you get beached on curve like that. DRS going to be wide open and moving to the left hand side, and easily gets past the Williams. Broughton will get the slipstream down the second section of the straight. Not going to make any attempt at making a move. It is now down to Scarlett to try and stay within 3 seconds, which she's already fell outside of. She's going to have to hope that Jota gets a penalty, but here comes Broughton once again moving to the inside. Back into second place goes the Williams. However, they did make up 0.6 of a second at that section. Here comes Scarlett once again, moving to the left-hand side of the track, getting past the Williams, having to cut the corner, though, to stay ahead. With the Williams of Broughton will be catching all the way, does let off, doesn't make a move down the inside. Diving that late at parabolic would be very risky. Of course, he can still see it in himself to get a better position if Joseph does get a 3 second before the end of this race. Here comes once again moving to the inside of the track, getting ahead before turn 1. These two cars are much better in a straight line than the Aston Martin ahead of them. They're just not able to keep the cornering up as much. Broughton getting a little bit loose off at the corner, possibly assisted by the Ferrari of Scarlett. That's not what they want to be doing. Of course, getting very close together through Curva Grande. Nearly coming together. Scarlett's had a bit of contact there already, and definitely at that speed you don't want to have any contact. You have a high risk of going to the outside wall. Bottom of the DRS heading towards Ascari once again, but stays behind It looks to have a much better exit out of the Ascari chicane. Has to let off once again. Both cars about equal levels of battery charge. Broughton been saving the past couple of laps. He comes once again. That car much better off Parabolica, moving to the left hand side this time. The DRS once again makes for an easy pass between these two. Just trading positions. They're now 4 seconds behind of Joseph. All he needs to do is screw home with a bit potential lag or contact, one of the two, heading into turn 1 between those two. These two know that it is entirely down to which one of them was across the line in front of the other will take the position. There's no penalties in play between these two for this race. There's half a lap remaining. Scarlett will get the final DRS distance of the race between these two. Broughton moves to the right, allows the Ferrari to the inside line at Ascari. Scarlett gets ahead through the chicane. Just got to keep it steady through all of it as well as on the exit. Does that. Here comes Broughton now. We'll have the slipstream getting closer on the battery. Scarlett moves to the right, defends. Broughton having to hit the outside line. Scarlett might not be close enough at Parabolica. It's all going to depend on who gets the better launch off of the corner. Too aggressive on the throttle. Joseph will take the race pretty much uncontestedly, and Broughton will get it at the line. Scarlett will take 3rd place on track. It'll be 4th for Apex, but 6th after penalties. It's a 4-5 for Alpine for a very mixed race. D765 will take 7th place. 8th goes to Curly. 9th to Blah, and the final point paying position to El Dorado. 14 started, only 10 finished. Monza once again proving to be a very mixed bag for all of the racers. One to remember for some, one to forget for others. Aston Martin take the win at the Italian Grand Prix. 2nd place goes to Williams, and 3rd heads to Ferrari. Very hectic race that was. Pole and a win for Aston Martin, as well as the fastest lap, a near Grand Slam for them. Broughton will take 2nd place, as well as 3rd goes the way of Scarlett. Oh. Well, that's helpful.